in the shadowy chambers of ancient Greece, a woman held immense power over kings and nations through her cryptic prophecies. Known as the Pythia, or the Oracle of Delphi, she was the high priestess of Apollo, the god of light, music, knowledge, harmony, and prophecy. Her sanctuary at Delphi included various archaeological sites, such as the Temple of Apollo and the treasuries. The ancient Greeks believed that the Pythia was Apollo's chosen medium to deliver messages directly from the gods. Her prophecies determined whether kings lived or died and were sought after by people from all corners of the ancient world. The sanctuary dedicated to Apollo at Delphi was known as the Temple of Apollo. Throughout history, famous thinkers like Socrates and Plato visited the oracle to seek wisdom. The Pythia was believed to be in a trance-like state when delivering her prophecies. The cryptic messages held such significant power that they could sway the course of history and shape the destinies of entire kingdoms. Yet, their mysterious nature made them both revered and feared. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, it helps this channel more than you'd think, and you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from, and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app, built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. Croesus of Lydia, the wealthiest king in the ancient world during the 6th century BCE, ruled from his lavish palace on Mount Sicily. His treasury overflowed with gold, a testament to his vast wealth and influence. Yet, Croesus sought something more, a divine assurance of victory. Within this hallowed site lived the Pythia, the oracle whose whispers were believed to be the very words of Apollo himself. Croesus journeyed to this sacred place, seeking a definitive answer from the oracle. Should he go to war against the Persians? The oracle's response was famously cryptic. If you cross the Halys River, a great empire will fall. Croesus interpreted this as a sign of victory. Surely it meant his enemy's downfall. But the prophecy was ambiguous, and Croesus's confident interpretation would lead to his own empire's tragic fall. However, Croesus interpreted this as a sign of victory, believing that he would defeat the Persians and see their empire fall. Unfortunately, his interpretation led to tragic consequences. In 440 BC, a similar fate befell the people of Aegina when the oracle told them to leave their island and settle in Thyrea. This seemingly simple instruction had profound implications. Kings often followed complex instructions from the oracle's prophecies, believing that precise adherence would ensure divine favor and success. From the heights of Mount Parnassus, Delphi gazes over the Corinthian Gulf in central Greece, its sanctuary nestled on the slopes. This is where the Oracle of Apollo resided for centuries, drawing kings and rulers from far and wide who sought divine counsel. Kings and rulers from Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Lydia, Persia, and many other city-states consulted the oracle before making crucial decisions. Delphi's prophecies were so highly regarded that they often determined the course of history, guiding kings on matters of war and peace, political alliances, and city foundations. Spartan King Leonidas. I followed this advice and led his forces into the Battle of Thermopylae, where he perished but secured a significant victory for Sparta. Similarly, Croesus of Lydia sought counsel from the oracle before going to war against the Persians. The oracle's cryptic response led him into a conflict that ultimately resulted in his empire's downfall. Across ancient Greece, the oracle's prophecies were so respected that they became pivotal points around which history turned. This far-reaching influence underscores the profound power that the oracle wielded over ancient Greek culture. But how were these cryptic messages delivered? The process involved complex mechanisms and rituals that added to the oracle's mystique. Priests and priestesses from other temples and sanctuaries would also visit Delphi for guidance on religious matters. These pilgrims would undergo their own set of rituals to prepare themselves spiritually for the divine encounter. The prophetic process at Delphi was more than just a simple oracular session. It was a complex interplay of sacred practices aimed at ensuring the purity and legitimacy of the message. Sacrifices were a crucial part of these rituals. These sacrifices often involved animals whose lifeblood would be offered to Apollo in hopes that the god would grant clarity and truth to his oracle's messages. This state was thought to be induced by inhaling vapors from a sacred spring or the burning of laurel leaves, both believed to be favored by Apollo. The rituals and mechanisms surrounding the Oracle of Delphi were as enigmatic as the prophecies themselves, adding to their aura of power and mystique. These complex mechanisms helped to ensure that the oracle's messages were seen as direct communications from the divine realm. One such famous prophecy came around 630 BC, when Lycurgus of Sparta sought the oracle's counsel. The oracle advised him to reform his government by establishing a council of elders. This cryptic guidance was thought to lead to the establishment of Sparta's Gerousia, an advisory board that played a crucial role in shaping its political landscape. Decades later, another powerful king sought the oracle's wisdom. In 595 BC, Croesus of Lydia, one of the wealthiest and most powerful kings in the ancient world, consulted the oracle. Despite the oracle's warning, Croesus undertook a military campaign against the Persians, believing his empire would be unharmed. However, the Lydian Empire was defeated, and Croesus himself was captured by Cyrus the Great of Persia. The cryptic prophecy had been fulfilled, but in a manner that Croesus could not have foreseen. It was his own empire that fell. Fast forward to 480 BC, when the oracle's prophetic influence was sought yet again during the Persian Wars. The oracle prophesied that a wooden wall would save Athens from the invading Persians. This ambiguous message was interpreted by the Athenians to mean their fleet of ships, and they prepared accordingly. Their decision proved pivotal in the Battle of Salamis, where the Greek fleet decisively defeated the Persians. In the final days of the oracle's reign, a significant event took place that would echo through history. In 79 BC, the last known Oracle of Delphi was consulted by Sulla. Sulla, a Roman dictator, sought the oracle's guidance as he faced critical decisions in his political career. The Oracle of Delphi, known for its cryptic yet powerful prophecies, was still revered by both individuals and kings alike. Sulla's actions after receiving the oracle's message highlight the power and influence of these prophetic words. The Oracle of Delphi, through its final consultation with Sulla, underscored its enduring significance in shaping ancient history and politics. As the oracle's era came to a close, it left behind a legacy that resonated through centuries of Greek and Roman history. Kings and rulers from various regions had long sought divine counsel from this sacred place. The final known oracle, consulted by Sulla in 79 BC, serves as a poignant reminder of the oracle's profound power and its ability to shape history with sometimes tragic consequences. As we look back on the Oracle of Delphi, it's clear that its prophecies did more than just predict future events. They guided leaders and shaped the course of history in ways that continue to echo today. The final consultation with Sulla marks a fitting end to the oracle's era, showcasing how these cryptic messages from Apollo could both inspire and challenge those who sought them. As we reflect on this last known oracle, we are reminded of the enduring power of ancient prophecies and their ability to shape human history, for better or worse. Alexander's campaigns began with the invasion of Persia, a formidable empire stretching from the Aegean Sea to India. His forces were vast and his tactics were cunning, but what truly drove him was the belief in his own invincibility. Throughout his conquests, Alexander would frequently consult the Oracle of Delphi, seeking divine guidance and affirmation of his destiny. Each prophecy served to reinforce his resolve and fuel his ambition. As Alexander expanded his empire, the oracle's influence extended with it, shaping alliances and determining the fates of cities. the power dynamics of the ancient world shifted under the weight of these cryptic whispers. Even in the midst of battle, Alexander would recall the oracle's words, drawing strength from them. His invincibility was not merely a personal belief, it became a rallying cry for his army. The prophecy of Alexander's invincibility held such power that even after his death, the memory of these words lingered, influencing how future leaders and historians would remember him. In this sense, the Oracle of Delphi was more than just a religious institution. It was a force that could shape the course of history with sometimes tragic consequences. As we consider Alexander's conquests, we see not only the ambition of a great leader, but also the profound influence that ancient prophecies could wield over human history. Alexander the Great's campaigns were fueled by his belief in his own invincibility, a belief rooted in the cryptic whispers from the Oracle of Delphi. This prophecy had a profound impact on the course of the war. The Spartans, believing that their victory depended on this dire sacrifice, fought with renewed vigor and determination. The prophecies given to Croesus and Alexander the Great underscore how kings would risk their empires based on these cryptic whispers. One cannot help but wonder if the Spartans' belief in this oracle's divine guidance contributed to their legendary military prowess. Ultimately, the cryptic messages from Delphi served as a double-edged sword, offering guidance but also risking devastating consequences. The influence of the Oracle of Delphi was such that even the mighty Spartans were not immune to its mysterious allure. The Oracle at Delphi, revered as the mouthpiece of Apollo, was consulted by Greek leaders seeking divine guidance during the tumultuous Persian wars. Themistocles, a prominent leader in Athens, interpreted this prophecy as an instruction to build a navy rather than fortify their city walls. With the foresight granted by the oracle's wisdom, they set about constructing triremes, great warships that would prove instrumental in repelling the Persian fleet. At the Battle of Salamis, this newly built navy executed a daring maneuver, drawing the Persian ships into narrow waters where they were outmaneuvered and decimated. The wooden walls of these triremes indeed became Athens' salvation, turning the tide of the war. During the Battle of Thermopylae, Spartan King Leonidas led his forces into a heroic but ultimately sacrificial stand against the vast Persian army. His death in battle fulfilled the oracle's prophecy, and his actions inspired a legendary last stand that would forever resonate in Greek history. The influence of the oracle's prophetic advice played a pivotal role in shaping the strategies and outcomes of these critical battles. The mystical allure of Delphi's oracular wisdom continued to guide kings and cities through some of history's most turbulent times, demonstrating the profound impact that ancient divination held over the Greek world. The Oracle of Delphi, nestled in the slopes of Mount Parnassus above the Corinthian Gulf, held significant sway over ancient Greek kings and city-states. In Athens, consultations with the oracle were commonplace among leaders seeking divine guidance. This prophecy bolstered Athenian morale and galvanized their efforts to reclaim lost lands, demonstrating the profound influence of oracular guidance on city-state governance. Throughout its history, Athens sought and acted upon these cryptic messages, illustrating how the oracle's prophecies could shape cultural and political decisions. The oracular wisdom of Delphi not only guided military strategies, but also influenced Athenian policies and cultural development, contributing to the city-state's golden age. The profound impact of these prophecies on Athenian history highlights how ancient divination could shape the course of a civilization, for better or worse. The Trojan War began when Paris, the Prince of Troy, was sent to Sparta to judge a beauty contest between three goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. In order to sway Paris's decision, each goddess offered him a bribe. Hera promised power, Athena promised wisdom, but Aphrodite tempted him with the most beautiful woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. Paris chose Aphrodite and her promise, setting his fate on a path that would lead to war. The goddess's words were echoed by the Oracle of Delphi: "The most beautiful woman in the world will be yours," propelling Paris towards an unavoidable conflict. Meanwhile, Helen was already married to King Menelaus of Sparta. Paris's abduction of Helen sparked the war, as Menelaus sought revenge and assembled an army to reclaim his wife. The oracle's influence did not stop with Paris. It also touched Cassandra, the Trojan princess known for her prophetic gifts. Despite being cursed by Apollo to be disbelieved, Cassandra foresaw Troy's downfall. Her warnings fell on deaf ears as the Trojans believed Paris's promises of victory and glory. They ignored Cassandra's pleas, choosing to see her as mad rather than heeding her prophecies. The tragic consequences unfolded. The city of Troy was besieged and ultimately destroyed, leading to the fall of one of history's greatest empires. A single cryptic message from the Oracle of Delphi had set off a chain reaction of events that culminated in catastrophic war and the end of an era. Perhaps no story illustrates this better than that of Oedipus, whose self-fulfilling prophecy led to a tragic downfall. The oracle's cryptic message foretold that Oedipus would kill his father and marry his mother, a fate he desperately tried to avoid. Yet, in a series of fateful events, the prophecy came true. Oedipus, unaware of his lineage, unwittingly killed his father at a crossroads and married his mother, Jocasta. When the truth finally emerged, Jocasta hanged herself and Oedipus blinded himself in remorse. The tale of Heracles demonstrates another side of the oracle's influence. Guided by cryptic messages from Delphi, Heracles undertook a series of ordeals that would ultimately lead to his demise. The most famous of these trials involved the poisoned tunic of Nessus, which caused Heracles such agonizing pain that he begged his son Hyllus to end his life by burning him alive. His tragic end was a direct result of the oracle's enigmatic pronouncements. Odysseus' journey, too, was markedly influenced by the Oracle of Delphi. Before embarking on his epic voyage, Odysseus sought guidance from the oracle. The prophecy he received was cryptic: "You will return home after a long journey, but only after great suffering." This message guided Odysseus through his perilous adventures and ultimately led to his safe return. Yet, the suffering he endured along the way was immense, including losing his crew and facing countless challenges before finally reuniting with his family on Ithaca. From its sacred site on Mount Parnassus, it issued prophecies that guided kings and shaped history. Its cryptic words could determine whether a king lived or died and influenced the founding of cities across the known world. One such city was Cyrene in North Africa. Its founding was commanded by the oracle itself, according to ancient sources. The story goes that a group of colonizers from Thera, an island off Greece, were seeking new lands when the oracle instructed them to build their city where they found a freshwater spring. This freshwater source was considered sacred and essential for the survival of any new settlement. The oracle's guidance led to the establishment of Cyrene, which became a significant Greek city in North Africa. But the oracle's influence extended beyond just Cyrene. Its prophecies also directed colonization efforts to new territories across the Mediterranean and beyond. These directives often resulted in strategic alliances between Greek cities and indigenous populations. The oracle's advice was sought by kings and leaders looking to expand their realms and form new political structures. For example, the oracle guided Croesus of Lydia in his quest to conquer new lands, with famously cryptic prophecies that led to profound consequences. The oracle's words were not just advice, they held the weight of divine mandate and often shaped geopolitical landscapes. As we see, the Oracle of Delphi's indirect but powerful influence reached across the known world, shaping cities and empires. For instance, the oracle's pronouncements about the heroic dead often depicted their journey into the underworld as a transition from mortal life to a state of honor and reverence. These cryptic messages not only influenced how Greeks viewed the afterlife, but also defined their rituals for honoring fallen heroes. Delphic insights into the nature of the gods and the divine realm added layers to the Greek understanding of death and the afterlife. The oracle's pronouncements suggested that the gods themselves were deeply involved in the fate of heroes, offering a divine connection to the underworld. Moreover, these cryptic messages shaped foundational aspects of Greek spirituality by emphasizing the importance of honor and veneration in the afterlife. This belief system, influenced by the oracle's prophecies, became a cornerstone of Greek religious practices and beliefs about death. In essence, the Oracle of Delphi's cryptic messages provided a framework for understanding death, not just as an end, but as a continuation into a realm of honor and divine connection. This perspective on the afterlife, shaped by the oracle's powerful insights, has had a lasting impact on our modern understanding of ancient Greek beliefs about death and the divine. The oracle's prophecies were often cryptic and open to interpretation, which only added to their allure and authority. In Paras's case, the oracle spoke of a great beauty that he was destined to meet. This prophecy would set in motion events leading to the Trojan War. Helen of Sparta was renowned for her beauty, and it was she who Paris was fated to encounter. Driven by the oracle's words, he journeyed to Sparta where he abducted Helen. This act of defiance sparked a conflict that would engulf the region. The abduction of Helen by Paris became the casus belli for the Trojan War. The oracle's role in this saga is profound. It was through the oracle that Paris came to know of his destined encounter with Helen, setting the stage for a war that would reshape history. The significance of Paris being chosen by Aphrodite with the help of the oracle cannot be overstated. It shows how divine intervention through oracular prophecies could influence worldly events. As the dust settled on the ancient battlefields, one thing became clear: the Oracle of Delphi's prophecies could set large historical events into motion. Across the ancient Greek world, kings and rulers sought the guidance of the Oracle at Delphi before making critical decisions. One such king was Agamemnon, leader of the Mycenaean kingdom. Facing a critical juncture in his reign, Agamemnon consulted the oracle before embarking on one of history's most famous wars. The oracle's prophecies were cryptic and often left room for interpretation, a dangerous game when empires hung in the balance. Before the Trojan War, Agamemnon sought divine guidance to secure victory. The oracle responded with a prophecy that hinted at both triumph and tragedy. Agamemnon's army laid siege to Troy for a decade, but the victory came at great cost. The oracle had foreseen this fate, placing a curse on Agamemnon's reign. Agamemnon returned home triumphant, but doomed by the prophecy. His wife Clytemnestra and her lover Aegisthus orchestrated his murder as the curse unfolded. The oracle's prophecy not only shaped Agamemnon's fate, but also influenced the political landscape of Mycenae. The power vacuum created by Agamemnon's death led to a succession of rulers vying for control. This struggle echoed the oracle's prophecy, shaping the political dynamics of Mycenae for years to come. The long-term effects of these prophecies extended beyond just the Mycenaean kingdom, influencing future generations. Turning to another legendary quest, we find the Oracle of Delphi guiding a journey that would become one of the most famous in Greek mythology, the voyage of Jason and the Argonauts. Seeking the Golden Fleece, a symbol of power and kingship, Jason sought counsel at the oracle. The prophecies delivered there would set him on a perilous voyage. Among the cryptic messages he received was a warning: "Beware the harpies, creatures of ill omen, who will chase you with their terrible cries." This foreboding prophecy was one of many that would guide Jason and his crew through treacherous waters. As the Argonauts sailed, they encountered these monstrous beings as predicted. But another prophecy came to their aid: listen for the sound of the lyre. This advice from Apollo led them to the musician Orpheus, who, with his enchanting music, could soothe even the most savage beasts. True to the oracle's words, Orpheus joined the crew, and his music tamed the harpies, allowing the Argonauts to continue their journey unhindered. Another trial awaited them: the clashing rocks, dangerous whirlpools that could crush any ship venturing through. The oracle had provided a crucial clue: look for the dove of Aphrodite. This dove would guide them safely through the treacherous passage. With this divine guidance, Jason and his crew navigated the clashing rocks without peril. The oracle's prophecies had once again proven their worth, shaping the course of history by guiding those who sought wisdom. Her prophecies were not merely predictions, but often instructions that guided the establishment of cities. For instance, the oracle instructed Cecrops to found a city named Athens. The site was carefully chosen to ensure the city would thrive. demonstrating the oracle's profound understanding of geography and human settlement. Similarly, the oracle guided Cadmus to establish Thebes by following a specific cow until it stopped to rest. This method ensured that the city was built on fertile land where it could prosper. The oracle's prophecies thus played a crucial role in shaping the early settlement patterns of Greece. These prophecies did not merely establish physical locations, but also influenced the cultural identity of these cities. For example, the oracle's instructions ensured that Athens and Thebes grew to reflect their divine origins. The oracle's advice not only determined where these cities were founded, but also laid the groundwork for their cultural development. But it was not just cities and cultural institutions that turned to the Oracle of Delphi for guidance. In 431 BC, during the Peloponnesian War, the Spartans found themselves facing a crucial military challenge. The Spartans interpreted this to mean that their king should lead from the front lines, increasing his chances of death in battle, but potentially ensuring victory for his troops. Thus, the oracle's guidance could turn the tide of war, as seen in the significant Battle of Marathon. The cryptic nature of these prophecies only added to their awe-inspiring mystique, making them all the more powerful and enduring in the minds of those who sought them. During this period of intense conflict between Rome and Carthage from 264 BC to 46 BC, Roman leaders sought the counsel of the Oracle at Delphi. The Punic Wars were marked by ambitious and sometimes disastrous military campaigns, making the guidance from a divinely inspired source invaluable. Among the notable prophecies delivered to Roman leaders was one that foretold great danger if they attempted to cross a certain river. The Romans took this warning to heart and avoided the river, which may have altered the course of their military strategy. The oracle's reach extended to the very heart of Rome's political and military decisions, demonstrating its profound influence on history. As we delve deeper into these ancient mysteries, it becomes clear that the Oracle of Delphi held a power that transcended geographical boundaries and shaped the course of human history. Consultations about the plague revealed a chilling message. Apollo will accept the sacrifice, but it must be great and pleasing to him. This ominous prophecy left the Athenians uncertain and fearful. The cryptic nature of this message added to the confusion, as it was unclear what specific actions should be taken to appease Apollo. Tragically, these actions only served to intensify the plague and increase suffering among the populace. The darker side of relying on cryptic prophecies became starkly apparent as the city's leaders realized their interpretations had led to further devastation. In these desperate times, even the most powerful leaders turned to the Oracle at Delphi for guidance. The Greeks consulted the oracle before the Gauls' invasion, seeking any insight that might turn the tide in their favor. The prophecies they received were as cryptic as ever. "An army of men from the north will descend upon you like a storm," said the oracle. This warning was interpreted in different ways. Some thought it meant immediate attack from the north. Others believed it referred to an alliance that would form against them in the future. Despite the ambiguity, strategic decisions were made based on these prophecies. Troops were mobilized to face the potential northern threat, and alliances were strengthened in preparation for what might come. And yet, amidst the preparations, a darker side of relying on such prophecies began to emerge. As the Gauls' invasion swept across Greece, it became clear that the oracle's warnings were not enough to prevent tragedy. The ambiguity of the prophecies left room for misinterpretation and misguided strategies. Two powerful cities, Athens and Pisa, fought for dominance of the sanctuary. This power struggle threatened the peace of the region. The oracle intervened with a prophecy that would change the course of history. She advised the warring factions to unite under a shared purpose, organizing the Olympic Games. This ancient tradition of athletic competition was revived and formalized by the Amphictyony, a council of representatives from various Greek cities. They were tasked with ensuring the peaceful and respectful conduct of the Games. The Delphic Amphictyony, as it was known, played a crucial role in maintaining the sanctity and integrity of the Olympic Games. This council ensured that the Games were held every 4 years without interruption. As the Olympics upheld their sacred traditions another oracle was guiding a different kind of quest: the expansion of Greek civilization. One of its most significant legacies is the role it played in the colonization of Sicily. Sicily, the ancient Greeks believed, was a land blessed by the gods and ripe for settlement. It was here that one of the first colonies, Syracuse, was founded under the guidance of the oracle. Archias, a Corinthian general, was instructed by the oracle to establish his colony on the island of Ortygia. From this humble beginning, Syracuse grew to become one of the most powerful cities in the Mediterranean. The oracle's influence extended beyond Syracuse, guiding the establishment of other Sicilian cities. Each colony carried with it the blessings and wisdom of Apollo's oracle. These prophecies not only guided the colonists, but also shaped their societies. The power of the oracle's words resonated through generations, shaping the future of these colonies. In the decades following the first Persian invasion, tensions between Greece and Persia simmered like a slowly building storm. Her cryptic prophecies guided not just the fate of individuals, but entire nations. During this time, King Xerxes I of Persia was considering a second invasion of Greece. The oracle played a pivotal role in shaping the strategy that would ultimately determine the outcome of this conflict. In 481 BC, Xerxes sought advice from Delphi before launching his offensive. This cryptic message set events in motion that would echo through history. In Greece, the Athenian leader Themistocles was aware of Xerxes' plans and sought his own counsel from the oracle. Her advice was clear: you will be safe by trusting in wooden walls. Interpreting this, Themistocles decided on a bold naval strategy. He fortified the city of Athens with ships, seeing them as the wooden walls referred to by the oracle. At the Battle of Salamis in 480 BC, this naval power proved decisive. The oracle's prophecies had shaped a strategy that not only saved Athens, but ultimately turned the tide against Persia. This prophecy, like many from the oracle, was ambiguous and open to interpretation. It created a dilemma for the Spartans: should they willingly sacrifice their king to gain an advantage in war? This question echoed through the halls of power, weighing heavily on the minds of the Spartan leaders. The ambiguity in the oracle's words was not a flaw, but a deliberate strategy. It allowed for multiple interpretations, leaving room for human judgment and choice. In this case, the Spartan leaders chose to interpret the prophecy as a sign of imminent victory if their king fell in battle. This interpretation galvanized their resolve and shaped their military strategy. Unfortunately for Athens, the oracle's prophecy proved tragically accurate. In the Battle of Pylos in 425 BC, the Spartan king Leonidas I was killed. With his death came the turning point in the war that the oracle had foretold. The Spartans, emboldened by their perceived divine favor, redoubled their efforts and ultimately turned the tide against Athens. However, the interpretation proved fatal. The Athenians, overconfident in their eventual triumph, made strategic blunders that led to their decisive defeat at Aegospotami. The cock's crow echoed through the mountains as a grim reminder of the oracle's ambiguous prophecy and the tragic downfall it had foretold. The lessons of the oracle's influence echo through time. That ambiguity can be a double-edged sword, leading to triumph or tragedy depending on how it is interpreted. In the end, human judgment and choice are what give meaning to even the most mysterious of prophecies. Imagine a world where kings and queens hold their breath, waiting for whispered messages from the gods themselves. As tensions between these two great city-states escalated in the mid-5th century BCE, both sides looked to Delphi for divine guidance. This cryptic message set the stage for what would become known as the Peloponnesian War. Sparta interpreted this prophecy as a sign of their inevitable victory. Meanwhile, Athens sought another oracle's advice, who told them to rely on a wooden wall. This enigmatic counsel left them uncertain but determined. As the conflict unfolded over decades, both sides clung to these prophecies, shaping their strategies and alliances. In 4113 BCE, a crucial turning point occurred when Athens sent reinforcements to their allies in Sicily. The oracle's prophecy about King Archidamus II seemed to be on the brink of fulfillment. However, fate had other plans. Archidamus II did not fall in battle. Instead, Sparta's power waned, and Athens, bolstered by their wooden wall, held out longer than anyone expected. The oracle's cryptic messages had been interpreted differently by each side, with profound consequences. This underscores how the oracle's prophecies could direct the course of major wars. In 480 BC, Xerxes I, the King of Kings, embarked on an ambitious campaign to conquer Greece. Before setting out, he sought counsel from the oracle. Xerxes was told that if he marched his army across the Hellespont, a great empire would fall. Ambiguous as it was, Xerxes interpreted this to mean his enemy's defeat. With the oracle's words echoing in his mind, Xerxes marched across the Hellespont. The Persian Empire's expansionist policies were heavily influenced by these cryptic messages. The oracle's influence extended far, guiding Xerxes in his grand ambitions. It was believed that the fate of nations hinged on these whispers from Apollo. But the oracle's prophecies weren't always straightforward victories. Sometimes their cryptic nature led to tragic misinterpretations. Xenophon interpreted this to mean he would overthrow the Persian ruler. The resulting military expedition, known as the March of the 10,000, was a dangerous gamble based on these cryptic words. The oracle's influence was vast and powerful. It shaped not just individual campaigns, but the entire geopolitical landscape of the ancient world. Kings from various regions, including the mighty Persian Empire, looked to Delphi for divine counsel, demonstrating the oracle's broad influence. Syracuse's tyrants, seeking divine wisdom, found it at the oracle. Let us explore how Delphi's enigmatic prophecies shaped the destinies of these powerful figures. First came Dionysius I, who rose to power in Syracuse around 405 BC. His ascent was not merely a matter of political maneuvering, but also influenced by the oracle's prophecies. Dionysius II, son of the first tyrant, also consulted the oracle. The oracle's prophecies shaped his rule, often in ways that were not immediately clear. Delphi's messages could be ambiguous, a strategic advantage for the oracle. For instance, the oracle might declare that an army of ghosts would aid Dionysius. Such prophecies allowed for multiple interpretations. This ambiguity had consequences. Dionysius II, misinterpreting the oracle's words, made disastrous decisions that ultimately led to his downfall and the fall of Syracuse. For Syracuse's tyrants, the oracle's cryptic messages shaped their reigns and ultimately their fates. The ambiguity that made these prophecies powerful also led to tragic outcomes when misinterpreted. Leaving the shores of Sicily, our focus shifts northward to the mighty Macedonian Empire. The Oracle of Delphi's cryptic prophecies would shape the destinies of its leaders, guiding their conquests and shaping history with sometimes tragic consequences. This cryptic message would lead Philip to identify Heracles as the hero. His offerings and devotion to Heracles became a cornerstone of his reign, influencing military strategies and alliances. This divine mandate fueled Alexander's campaigns across Persia and beyond. His victories, guided by this prophecy, extended Macedonian influence to unprecedented lengths. Beyond Alexander's reign, the oracle continued to shape historical events. Antigonus I, one of Alexander's successors, sought divine guidance in 32 BC. The oracle's response to Antigonus was similarly cryptic. "Flee the city, for a great light will burn it." This foreboding message would guide his strategies and alliances in the chaotic aftermath of Alexander's empire. The ambiguity that made these prophecies powerful also led to tragic outcomes when misinterpreted. The oracle's guidance continued to shape major historical events even after Alexander. Yet amidst the turmoil, their cryptic wisdom offered a guiding light that leaders followed with unwavering faith. In this intricate dance of power and divinity, the Oracle of Delphi's words echoed through the ages, shaping the destiny of the Macedonian Empire. As we explore the wider implications of these prophecies, we see how they continued to influence the political landscape and military strategies long after their original consultations. One significant cultural event inspired by the oracle's prophecies was the creation of the Olympic Games. The Games, which took place in Olympia every 4 years, served as a unifying force among the city-states. The Olympic Games served as a powerful symbol of unity and competition among the Greek city-states. The Games brought together athletes from different regions to compete in various sports, fostering a sense of shared identity and cultural exchange. Examples of oracles influencing ancient athletes and competitions include the prophecy that guided the establishment of the Olympic Games, which became a cornerstone of Greek culture and unity. By guiding the creation of the Olympic Games, the Oracle of Delphi played a pivotal role in shaping Greek culture and fostering unity among the city-states. The establishment of the Olympic Games under the guidance of the oracle's prophecies demonstrates how these divine messages could shape not only political decisions, but also cultural events that would endure for centuries. By inspiring the creation of the Olympic Games, the Oracle of Delphi left an enduring legacy that continues to resonate in modern times, reflecting its profound influence on ancient Greek culture and unity. One of the most significant ways its influence manifested was in the formation of Greek city-states. Athens, one of the most prominent city-states, was founded under the oracle's guidance. According to myth, Athena and Poseidon competed for the city's patronage. The oracle declared that whichever god provided the most useful gift would be named patron. Poseidon offered a salt spring, Athena presented the olive tree. Athens chose Athena's gift, establishing the city under her protection. Similarly, Sparta was founded under divine guidance from the oracle. Lycurgus, Sparta's legendary lawgiver, consulted the oracle for advice on establishing a new constitution. One notable example is the Parthenon in Athens. Built as a dedication to the goddess Athena, its construction was guided by the oracle's cryptic advice. The religious significance of these temples could not be overstated. They were more than just places of worship, they embodied the sacred wisdom and authority of the gods. Politically, these temples also played a vital role in unifying communities. They were often at the heart of city-states, serving as both spiritual and civic centers. The oracle's cryptic messages could be ambiguous, yet they carried profound implications for the future of these structures and the cities that built them. One intriguing aspect of Delphic prophecies was their ability to shape architecture even in subtle ways. For instance, the layout and design of temples could be influenced by the oracle's guidance. This influence extended beyond mere construction. The ongoing maintenance and rituals performed within these temples were also guided by divine counsel from the Oracle at Delphi. For example, the oracle might advise a city to place particular relics within the temple, which could then have significant cultural or political implications. The oracle's influence on temple construction underscores how ancient Greeks saw divine guidance as crucial for the future of their cities and kingdoms. In essence, these temples became more than just buildings. They were symbols of the sacred wisdom that guided their creation and continued existence. This influence extended beyond the construction phase, shaping the ongoing rituals and cultural significance of these temples throughout their existence. These philosophers, driven by their quest for understanding the nature of reality and the human condition, turned to the oracle's wisdom to guide their intellectual inquiries. For Socrates, the oracle's pronouncement that he was the wisest man in Athens sparked a lifelong pursuit to understand what true wisdom entailed. This revelation led Socrates to question the assumptions and beliefs of his contemporaries, ultimately developing the method of questioning now known as the Socratic method. Plato, who was deeply influenced by Socrates' teachings, also engaged with the oracle's wisdom. He sought to understand the ideal form of a just society and the nature of the soul. Aristotle, who studied under Plato, drew on the oracular wisdom to explore the relationship between ethics and politics and the role of virtue in a well-ordered society. The oracle's cryptic messages often left room for interpretation, challenging these philosophers to delve deeper into the mysteries of human existence. The profound impact of the oracle's wisdom can be seen in the enduring philosophical questions that these thinkers raised, which continue to shape our understanding of the world today. In this way, the Oracle at Delphi played a crucial role in the development of Greek philosophy, guiding some of history's most renowned thinkers towards profound insights and lasting contributions to human knowledge. Greek tragedy, with its origins traced back to ritual practices honoring Dionysus, was born out of this fertile ground where myth and divine wisdom intertwined. The concept of tragedy itself can be tied to the idea of a tragos, or goat song, performed at sacrificial rites. The role of the chorus, a key element of Greek theatre, echoes the rituals and collective wisdom dispensed at Delphi. The chorus serves as both observer and interpreter, much like how the priests and priestesses at Delphi mediated Apollo's prophecies. Many early plays drew directly from the mythology surrounding Delphi and its oracles. For instance, The Persians, by Aeschylus, written after the disastrous campaign against Greece, reflects the oracle's warnings to Croesus. The play explores themes of hubris and divine retribution, mirroring the tragic consequences that often followed heeding Delphi's cryptic advice. Similarly, Sophocles' Oedipus Rex's delves into the tragic fate of Oedipus, who unwittingly fulfills a prophecy foretelling his patricide and incest. This story underscores the unavoidable nature of fate, as interpreted from Delphi's prophetic whispers. Through these plays and others like them, the oracular power of Delphi permeated Greek theatre, shaping its narrative forms and themes. The birth of Greek tragedy was thus deeply intertwined with the cultural significance of the oracle. The dramatic irony in these stories, where characters are unaware of their fate, but the audience is not, parallels the experience of seeking counsel at Delphi. The oracle's cryptic messages required interpretation and often carried grave consequences, much like the plots unfolding on stage. In this way, the Oracle of Delphi not only guided kings and shaped history, but also nurtured the birth and growth of Greek tragedy, leaving an indelible mark on the world's artistic heritage. These cults were sacred religious practices that centered around initiation into secret rites and rituals, promising access to divine knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. Among the most prominent of these cults were the Eleusinian mysteries and the Dionysian cults, both of which held Delphi's oracular power in high regard. The Eleusinian mysteries, dedicated to the goddess Demeter and her daughter Persephone, were believed to offer initiates a glimpse into the secrets of life and death. Delphi's oracular pronouncements were seen as revelations from Apollo himself, providing spiritual guidance that these cults valued immensely. The Dionysian cults, centered around the god of wine and ecstasy, saw in Delphi's prophecies a divine affirmation of their rituals, which often involved trance-like states and mystical experiences. These cults believed that by partaking in these secret rites, they could achieve a state of spiritual unity with the divine, much like the profound connection to Apollo's wisdom sought through Delphi's oracles. The Oracle of Delphi, therefore, was not just a political and strategic tool, but also a spiritual beacon that guided the deepest religious beliefs and practices of ancient Greeks. Delphi's oracular authority thus permeated various aspects of ancient Greek culture, from statecraft to religious worship, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness and practices of the time. Understanding the role of Delphic prophecies in these mystery cults offers a deeper appreciation of how ancient Greeks sought spiritual enlightenment and divine connection within their complex religious landscape. Socrates, known for his method of questioning everything, including himself, was deeply influenced by the oracular wisdom of Delphi. At the heart of Socratic thought lies the famous maxim, "Know thyself." This principle is echoed in the ancient Greek temple at Delphi, where visitors were greeted with the inscription, "Know yourself, and you will know the universe and the gods." Socrates' commitment to self-examination and personal growth mirrors the introspective journey that pilgrims undertook at Delphi, seeking insights into their own selves and destinies. Plato, a student of Socrates, carried this tradition forward in his dialogues, often referencing the Delphic oracle and its cryptic wisdom. In Plato's Apology, Socrates recounts his visit to Delphi, where the oracle declared that no one was wiser than he. This divine declaration set Socrates on a lifelong quest to test and challenge the wisdom of others, ultimately leading to his own teachings on humility and self-awareness. They guided philosophers like Socrates and Plato in their pursuit of knowledge and self-understanding, shaping the very foundations of Western thought. This legacy illustrates how Delphi's prophetic wisdom transcended mere prediction to profoundly impact human understanding and personal growth. One intriguing hypothesis suggests a possible link between the oracle's early power and the enigmatic fall of the Minoan civilization. The Minoans were an ancient civilization that thrived on the island of Crete, far in the future, 1450 BCE, renowned for their advanced culture. The Minoan civilization is believed to have met its end following a catastrophic volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, now known as Santorini. This event occurred around 1627 BCE and is considered one of the largest volcanic explosions in recorded history. The eruption was so powerful that it likely caused widespread destruction and disruption, potentially impacting the oracle's influence and power at Delphi. Some scholars speculate that this catastrophic event might have contributed to the rise of the Oracle of Delphi as a significant center for divine wisdom. While concrete evidence directly linking the Thera eruption to the early power of the Delphic oracle is scarce, it's plausible that such a cataclysmic event could have affected religious practices and beliefs across the region. The fall of the Minoan civilization remains one of history's great mysteries, but exploring potential connections with significant events like the Thera eruption offers insight into how early influences might have shaped the oracle's enduring power. In 431 BC, amidst the turmoil, the oracle delivered a cryptic prophecy to Sparta. "If your king falls in battle, you will prevail." This ambiguous message was interpreted as meaning that the death of King Archidamus II would lead to victory for Sparta. The prophecy influenced the course of the war and eventually led to a strategic alliance between Athens and Sparta, known as the Spartan-Athenian alliance. This alliance resulted in a 30-year truce that brought much-needed respite to both city-states and their allies, demonstrating the strategic value of Delphi's wisdom. Throughout history, the Oracle of Delphi has shown that its cryptic prophecies could be used to maintain peace and avert larger conflicts, highlighting its enduring influence on ancient Greek politics. The oracle warned of a Helot revolt, a shadow looming over Sparta's slave population known as the Helots. These enslaved peoples, who outnumbered the free citizens of Sparta, were the backbone of its agricultural economy. Despite the oracle's cryptic prophecies often being open to interpretation, this one seemed clear. A storm was brewing among the Helots. The Spartans, however, chose to see it differently. They believed that if they could keep their slaves content and well-fed, the threat would pass. This misguided belief led them to invest heavily in maintaining a comfortable existence for the Helots, hoping to quell any unrest. But the oracle's prophecies are not so easily dismissed. As the years passed, tensions continued to simmer among the Helots. The promised storm was not abating with mere comforts. In 464 BCE, the revolt finally erupted. The Helots, under the leadership of a Mycenaean named Aristomenes, rose up against their Spartan masters. This was not just a minor rebellion, it threatened to tear apart the very fabric of Spartan society. The revolt lasted for several years, draining Sparta's resources and manpower. The once mighty city-state found itself struggling to maintain control over its own territory. The consequences were catastrophic. Spartan society was forever changed. The aftermath left Sparta weakened, both in terms of its military might and its once unyielding grip on power. The oracle's prophecy had proven true, but at a terrible cost. This tragedy underscores how failing to heed the oracle's words can lead to devastating consequences. Its cryptic prophecies could make or break rulers and cities alike. Around 546 BC, the Oracle of Delphi received a visit from Lysigoras, an emissary from the city of Miletus. Miletus was a thriving coastal city in what is now modern-day Turkey, known for its strategic location and commercial prowess. Lysigoras sought the oracle's guidance on a pressing matter that would shape the future of his city. The oracle delivered its prophecy in its characteristic cryptic manner, If you attack Sardis, a great empire will fall. On the surface, this message seemed clear. Attacking the city of Sardis would lead to the downfall of a significant empire. However, the oracle's words were open to interpretation and manipulation by those in power. The rulers of Miletus, sensing an opportunity, chose to interpret the prophecy as a divine mandate for conquest rather than caution. They believed that by attacking Sardis, they would be the ones to bring about the fall of a great empire, securing their own power and prestige. Lysagoras returned to Miletus with this distorted interpretation of the oracle's prophecy. Moved by what he believed was divine sanction, the city of Miletus launched a military campaign against Sardis. The ensuing conflict would come to be known as the Sack of Sardis, a pivotal event in ancient Greek history. The consequences of this political intrigue and manipulation were severe and long-lasting. Miletus's actions led to a chain reaction of retaliatory measures and counterattacks, further destabilizing the region. Eventually, Miletus itself was sacked by the Persians as part of this escalating conflict. The sack of Miletus in 494 BC marked a turning point in ancient Greek history, illustrating the dangerous power that political figures could wield over divine oracles. The power of the Oracle of Delphi was not merely in divine messages, but also in its ability to sway political tides. After the sack of Miletus in 494 BC, Athens sought a way to rally Greek city-states against the Persian threat. In 478 BC, Athens utilized the Oracle of Delphi's prophecies to form the Delian League. This league was an alliance among many Greek city-states, aimed at unifying their forces against the Persians. The oracle's support gave Athens a significant advantage in establishing its dominance over the alliance. With divine backing, Athens could more effectively lead and maintain control of the Delian League. Athens used this influence to mobilize resources and troops, leveraging the alliance's strength to defend against Persian invasions. The oracle's cryptic prophecies played a pivotal role in uniting these city-states. This alliance showcased the immense political clout of the oracle's prophecies, shaping history and determining the fate of entire cities. As the league grew stronger, so did Athens' power. The oracle's support ensured that Athenian leadership was seen as legitimate and necessary for the alliance's success. For it was not just the oracle's words that held sway, but also the divine authority they carried, binding city-states together in a common cause. One of the most well-known examples of this is the story of Oedipus. In a desperate attempt to avoid this fate, Oedipus fled from the city of Corinth. He traveled to Thebes, unaware that the man he would kill on the road was actually his father. The irony of this situation has led to what we now call the Oedipus complex, a term coined by Sigmund Freud. Oedipus's tragic fate serves as a stark reminder that trying to defy the oracle's will can have catastrophic consequences. The ambiguity of this prophecy led Croesus to interpret it as his own victory. However, the fall of a great empire was not Lydia, but Persia. This misinterpretation had devastating consequences for Lydia. This prophecy led to a tragic turn of events, as the Spartans believed that the sacrifice of their king would secure their victory. The oracle's cryptic advice thus shaped military strategy with dire consequences. The cryptic yet hopeful nature of this prophecy inspired the Athenians to fight for their democracy, ultimately leading to the establishment of Athenian democracy as we know it today. Thus, the Oracle of Delphi's prophecies did more than predict the future. They shaped history and political landscapes, sometimes with tragic consequences, but always with immense power. But the oracle's guidance could lead to tragedy. Consider Odysseus, who sought the Oracle of Delphi for advice on winning the Trojan War. The complex instructions he received led to one of the most cunning and devastating strategies in military history, the creation of the Trojan horse. As Odysseus sought wisdom for his campaign against Troy, he was told, "The one who sacked Ilium should first make sure to return Helen to her husband, and you will take Troy when the sons of Priam fight with you inside the city." These cryptic instructions led Odysseus to devise a plan that would become legendary. The oracle's words hinted at the need for cunning and deception. The Greeks constructed a giant wooden horse filled with soldiers, disguised as a peace offering to the Trojans. When the horse was brought inside Troy's walls, the Greeks within emerged and opened the gates for their army. The Trojan horse, a symbol of Greek ingenuity, was directly inspired by the oracle's cryptic guidance. The tragic irony is that this brilliant strategy came at a great cost to both sides. As we see, the oracle's cryptic messages could result in dire outcomes when misinterpreted, but their influence on history and politics is undeniable. In a pivotal moment, the oracle encouraged the formation of an alliance between Sparta and Athens. This union was significant as it marked the beginning of a political and military partnership that would reshape Greek history. The oracle's influence on political alliances extended beyond mere words. Its cryptic messages often led to actions with far-reaching consequences, including tragic ones. However, the Spartan-Athenian alliance was not always harmonious. During the Peloponnesian War, tensions between Athens and Sparta escalated. The oracle's influence on this alliance continued to be felt throughout the conflict, with prophecies sometimes being interpreted as justifications for military actions and political maneuvers. Despite their initial unity, the alliance ultimately collapsed amidst betrayals and broken promises, a tragic consequence that resonated through Greek history. This historical arc illustrates how the oracle's cryptic messages shaped political alliances, influenced decisions of kings and city-states, and had profound impacts on historical events. And so, through the lens of history, we see how the Oracle of Delphi's prophecies wielded immense power-shaping alliances, guiding kings, and sometimes leading to tragic consequences. One such region was Athens, where a mythical contest between two powerful deities would shape its very identity and destiny. The Oracle of Delphi was consulted to determine which gift was more valuable and who should be chosen as Athens' patron deity. In response, the oracle prophesied that Athena's gift of the olive tree was more beneficial and significant for the city's future. This early influence by the oracle set a precedent for how Athena's wisdom would continue to guide the city through history. The prophecy from Delphi not only named Athens, but also shaped its early cultural development, with the olive tree becoming a symbol of peace and prosperity. Through this mythical narrative, we see how the oracle's cryptic yet profound prophecies could shape the destiny of entire cities, driving forward our narrative of historical influence. One of the most significant events shaped by her words was the fall of Thebes. The story begins with King Laius of Thebes, who received a chilling prophecy from the oracle. Determined to avoid this fate, Laius ordered the child to be killed at birth. However, the infant was spared and grew up to become Oedipus, unaware of his true lineage. Years later, Oedipus himself visited the oracle, seeking an answer to a riddle posed by the Sphinx. Blind to the truth, Oedipus fulfilled this prophecy when he killed King Laius in a roadside altercation and married his mother Jocasta. The tragedy deepened as Oedipus's daughter Antigone learned of her father's actions, and his brother Polynices challenged him for the throne. Creon, Oedipus's uncle, seized power after Oedipus's self-imposed exile and Antigone's death. The oracle's prophecy thus set in motion a chain of events that ultimately led to the fall of Thebes. This tale serves as a stark reminder of the oracle's profound influence and the tragic consequences that could follow her cryptic words. In the year 480 BC, another Persian king sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi. Xerxes I, son of Darius, had plans to expand his empire by conquering Greece. Xerxes believed that with the oracle's blessing, his invasion would be successful. He consulted the Pythia, seeking assurance of victory over the Greeks. The oracle's response was cryptic and enigmatic: "You will destroy a great empire." Xerxes took this as a sign of his impending triumph. Confident in the oracle's words, Xerxes invaded Greece with a massive army. The Greeks, however, were prepared. At the Battle of Salamis, they executed a strategic maneuver that would change the course of history. Xerxes' fleet was ambushed and destroyed. His plans for conquest were shattered. In retrospect, the oracle's prophecy was chillingly accurate. Xerxes did indeed destroy a great empire, his own. The Helot revolt was a significant internal conflict that plagued Sparta around 465 BCE. The Helots were serfs and agricultural labourers who supported the Spartan way of life but lived under harsh conditions and oppressive rule. Tensions between the Helots and their Spartan overlords had been building for some time, and this revolt marked a pivotal moment in Sparta's history. The Oracle advised the Spartan kings that if they wanted to maintain their power and control over the Helots, one of them would have to die. This cryptic instruction was believed to be a divine mandate from Apollo himself, and it set the stage for a tragic turn of events. Following the oracle's guidance, the Spartan kings interpreted this prophecy as an indication that one king must sacrifice himself to appease Apollo and maintain their rule over the Helots. This interpretation led to a brutal internal power struggle within Sparta. The result of this conflict was disastrous. The infighting weakened Sparta's ability to control the revolt effectively, leading to prolonged and violent unrest among the Helots. The tragic consequences of following the oracle's cryptic guidance were plain to see. Sparta's power was diminished, and the Helot revolt continued to plague the city-state for years. This case underscores the delicate balance between divine guidance and human interpretation, highlighting how the oracle's influence could shape history in both positive and negative ways. The lessons from this tragic episode serve as a reminder of the complexity and ambiguity inherent in prophecy. In retrospect, the oracle's role in advising Spartan leaders during this tumultuous period serves as a poignant example of how powerful yet ambiguous divine messages can be. As future generations look back on these events, they recognize the enduring influence and potential pitfalls of seeking guidance from the ancient oracles,